everybody. So, welcome to Highlight Crafts Flower of the Month. And this time we're working with a beautiful sunflower. And I really love this collection because sunflowers are my favourite. So, shall we show you the boards? We're going a little bit out of routine here. So, because we can. Because we can. That's why. So, these are the boards. Ta-da! Look at that colour. Wow, that is proper colour. So we have got this one, over the edge sunflower. Yep, you've seen these before many times. That's our white cut. It comes with the actual split unity, which is what creates in the background, that matte layer. And look at the colours. These colours are phenomenal, really on fire. Sunflowers, aren't they beautiful? So that is your first one. So that is the larger of the dies. Then we give you a little one too. How cute's that? So again, look at these. These are all growing in somebody's garden. They're going to get a tape measure out, measure all these. There's competition going on here. You can feel it, can't you? That's the actual cuts. So again, you get the same, you get the detail die and you get the matte layer in behind. But if I just bring in that big one again, the big one and the small one are different orientations. So we always do that for you. So then it gives you better perspective and your projects different dimensions. And then finally, with your flower of the month, you always get the Build-a-bouquet. Now, the Build-a-bouquet is a swift die. It's all on one. Let me just quickly, because I've mentioned it's a swift die. That is a swift die. It's all on one piece of metal, okay? So it's really easy. You're not going to lose any of your leaves. And you can really now see the difference in sizes with the actual proper size dies. And then this is how we break the Build-a-bouquet down, because that's exactly what you can do now with this one. Adding into your small and your large die, you've got then the ability to build a bouquet. So you've got extra flower heads if you need them. You've got lots of extra leaves and foliage. And then you've got this lovely one that is a side-on view, which is fabulous. Love this collection. Love, love, love it. And then you can make something that looks like this. So this is exactly where that Build-a-bouquet, what I was trying to explain. So these are the larger ones. This is the smaller of the full flower. And then all of these elements that are scattered around, they are all the Build-a-bouquet pieces, which makes it beautiful. Pop that into a frame and then you can give it as a gift. Aren't they phenomenal? I just love these. Love sunflowers. You also get them in lots of different colours. So if you go back and have a look at the other videos, because this is in this video, this is where I build or I use all of the elements that are from the MCS and the SVG little videos that we've done. So I'm making one project, okay? So in the MCS, I created the backing paper. Okay, so I printed it on cardstock because that also then gives me the element of being able to make cards and things like that. So I printed it on cardstock, but I've actually printed it on rice paper for this instance, just because we can. And usually you would see me working with it in portrait, but we're actually, sorry, landscape, but we're actually working with this in portrait. So I need to turn that around, okay? So this is the project that we're going to be making. So that is the Minecraft Studio part. Now, as David, I can hear David is next door. As Andrew has just said, it's got a little bit of ink on it. I'm not bothered because I'm getting rid of some of that. So it was just a misprint, but I thought I'm not using it. So I'm not using that piece of it. I'm going to tear it away. So I've left it as it is because I'm not wasting it. Then in the SVG one, I show you how to then make the stencil. So we need the stencil part of it as well, okay? Because we need to create something in the background. So we're using lots of different things here. So I've created two tools. I've created my paper or my rice paper, and I've also created my stencil that is then going to build me my project. Now these books, I'm not sure if they're still on our website. They are the Reeves journal books or artist books. I've been building in this book for a while now. Shall I give you a quick sneak peek? So we've done all of these previously. These are all the makes that we've been working through. So it's a book that I'm working my way through, different projects. So for this one, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So I'm getting it a little bit messy, would you believe? Which is a bit different for me because I don't always get all messy and sticky and gluey. Right, I'm just checking that I've got everything. So I'm using our Cadence paints in this one, a little bit of blue and a little bit of the white. I'm also using the lovely Cadence decoupage glue as it is, and I've got shake and gilt as well. So this is very, I'm really out of my coming out the box with this one, aren't I? So first of all, what I did in here, I've actually put two of my pages together because I know I'm going to need something a little bit thicker working with my substrates that I'm working with. You don't have to, but it's just something that I've got into the habit of doing. And I've also laid a piece of cardstock behind, okay? So that is also going to help that I don't damage the rest of my book. And if it does seep through, it seeps through onto that cardstock and I can throw it away. Or it might make me a really pretty backing paper for some, you know, if it ends up going all the way through, which it won't because I've done this before. So first of all, I need to put some paint down on here, and then we're going to do a little bit of stenciling with other mediums. So on here, I haven't got, in fact, I have got, because I want to keep the table clean because I don't want Andrew chinning at me that I've made a mess of the table. So nobody wants Andrew chinning at them because it's not good. So I've got the blue, which is the baby blue. And a lot of people will flip I don't work with the paints like that because I don't like the lids getting messy. Yeah, a bit OCD, aren't I? Absolutely. But I'm quite happy to own that I am OCD and that I'm like that. And then a bit of the white. Can we actually see what I'm putting out here, Andrew? Or do you want me to move a little bit? If I come in a little bit, if I go like that, is that a little bit better? I think that's a little bit better for everybody. Let me shake that one up because that one, all the paints at the bottom. There's plenty in all of these. Ta-da! So that is now there. Love it. So the first thing I'm going to do is use some cut and use. Now, I love this cut and use because it leaves a really nice, smooth finish to what you're working with. But also, if you stipple it, it gives a little bit of texture. So I'm going to pick up some of the blue, like so. And I'm actually putting it into my little bit of cut and use. And I'm just going to drag it in the background. Okay? It's in the background. It's about, yeah? And I'm not worried that I've missed pieces. That is not bothering me at all. If you press on a little bit harder, creating stripes, I'm going to turn it round and I'm going the other direction. Okay. Look at me getting all arty. Okay, like so. Happy with that. I'm going to flip the whole book round because I'm going to go from the other end. And just because I've got blue, I'm not bothered. I'm working with the white now. But I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of the blue. And you can say, well, white's not going to show up. It will on this because this paper isn't pure white. So again, and when I've actually put a lot of this on here, you're not going to see much of what's in the background. But you will, if you know what I mean. It's worth doing this, and it's also a lot of fun. So now all I'm doing is dragging it in different directions, and I can pick both pieces up, blend them together, and again, so that blue's coming through to the white, and the white will transfer through to the blue. Okay, so I've made myself quite a nice little background that all my flowers are now going to sit on. So pop that to one side. I'm just going to quickly dry it off. And it will dry quite quickly because we've not put a lot on here. I've not used a paintbrush to put this on. Like this. And dry it from the other side as well. You can see that it's got damp through here, but there's no colour come through. But that's just a little tip that if you are working with something, dry it from the reverse side as well. Will speed up the drying process. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now is where we're going to bring in the stencil. So what I need now is I'm just going to move some stuff off of here so I can actually find what I need, because we've got lots going on at the minute. And I need, of course it's going to be underneath everything. There we go. Yellow. They're the greens. Orange. That's what I need. So now I've got my yellow and my orange, and I want my orange one and yellow blending tool. Okay, so now we're going to put the stencil to use. It's entirely up to you whether you put some spray on the back of this. Okay, now also I'm going to say that if it goes a bit heavy and it's not quite what you want, you can still go back in with your paint and cover it over. So there's I don't want everybody to go, oh, I'll never be able to do this. There's no right or wrong with any of this. Okay, this is entirely just doing it free. Okay, tapping some of the colour off because I don't want it that heavy. And then I'm just going to place my stencil, and I've gone off the page. And I've done that for a reason, because when you have something that's in the background like this, I don't want it all nice, neat, even. I do want it to be odd. Okay, so that's put some colour down. I'm going to move it. Go again off the edge. A little bit stronger in some places. Got a little bit there. Okay. Again, off the edge again. I like getting messy. Okay, quite like that. We've overlapped it and we've got something in the background, but that is only one colour. And if you want to, you can line it back up and go in a little bit stronger. Now we're going to go in with the yellow. Now all I'm doing is picking up some of the colourway that is actually working here. So I'm changing it again off the edge. And it doesn't also matter, you know, I've got orange here. I'm going to go over the top of it. Okay, putting colour on top of colour, because you're still going to be able to see what's below because you're adding a different hue. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm transferring that down this side, and again change it around, move your stencil so then you get a different. And I'm also, if you would do, obviously I've worked with cardstock making my stencil, but I'm also creating a backing paper at the same time, because I've worked with cardstock. If I wanted to, I can then cut this card out and have it in the background. I could turn it into a shaker card. So there's lots of things that's happening here all in one go. So I've got a bit of extra something going on there. I could even leave that on there if I wanted to. So take that away. So I've got my paint in my background and I've done this. So this is where my lovely backing paper comes in now. So I'm going to set that to the side and let that start drying. Take some paper, some water, and I'm just going to wet around these edges and let the water soak into the rice paper, because when we do this, the rice paper feathers. I'm going to go like that down the edge, I'm going to do a bit of a wiggle across the bottom. And come along here, and I don't mind whether it's straight or not, because now, drop that in there, I'm just going to pull really gently on that rice paper. And where I've got that ink, I've got rid of all that ink, so that's why I said I wasn't bothered that I'd marked the rice paper, because it hasn't done anything to it. So go along the edge, and now I'm just feathering. So by just giving it a little, don't be scared. Okay. Don't need these little bits. Don't be scared of what it's doing. Again, pull all that away. Like so. So when I actually pop this on here, it's now in the background. Look at that. So we've got lots of other things happening as well that's going on here. But first of all, remember the white. Pop that to one side. Just going to knock this back a little tiny bit where the actual image is going. Okay, like so. Only a little bit, because that is going to sit on there. Okay, so I'm going to get this fabulous glue, which it really is phenomenal. Love this stuff. It's one of those go-tos that we all use all of the time. It's not that we say, oh, it's really good. It is a multi-use. All of us use it here at Highlight Crafts for many different things. So, well, mixed media pieces and everything. So I want my brush. I'm just looking for a piece of, there we go, card, because again, don't really, now there's two ways of doing this. You can either pick it up and put it on like this, and that's really technical, isn't it? You can really see how technical that is in the background. Or you can pop it on here, but now I've done that, I can lay that on there, smooth it over, brush it out. I've got no bubbles or anything in it, like so. A little bit more. So you can all do this at home. So what I'm actually creating is more like of an art book page. So remember, I've used all those other elements in this that are created tools as well. So I've made my stencil, I've used some paint, and I've made my backing paper, printing it onto rice paper with those SVG files, okay? So again, I need to turn on the hot tool and dry it all around this. Now, when we've done this, layer upon layer, which is what mixed media is, it's just mixing the mediums that you're working with. So we've got paint, we've got some inks on the back of this. And again, that top tip, remember, dry it from the back as well. Like so. It doesn't actually take that long to dry. Like this. Super quick. And I've got all my pieces ready, cut out and waiting. And that decoupage glue acts as a sealer as well. There we go. It's just curling a little bit, so if I dry it from the back, little tip for you, can you see that straighten up? Like that. Makes your paper flat again. So if you dry it from the reverse. There we go. Happy with that. So that's our backing. So that is in the background. Now we can start building, but we can add more to this if we wanted to. Okay, so just because we've actually used the stencil doesn't mean that we can't come back in with the stencil or even the paints and put a whitewash on here as well. So I'm actually going to get my tissue. Just going to get this glue out of the paint as much as I can. Pick up some more of that white paint, and you can dry brush back into this. So it knocks it back again. And I know usually, very, more often than not, you see me making cards and things. But when I'm at home and I'm not doing all the other stuff that I do, this is the kind of thing that I do. I do journal pages and art pages. So the mixed media side of things is something that I absolutely love working with because there's no rules. So now just go across just in one direction. Blend that out a little bit more. Put that in there to dry. And now we can start putting on. Now, that is all created in the background, okay? We can scan that in, we can do other things with it. But this is where, when you put this colour back on top, so I've got my big pieces. So these are SVGs. But look what happens when you put the colour back on. It's brilliant. It now really comes to life. And I've also got some die ones as well, which I do want. So we're always very prepared for when we're doing something like this. We've even got a topper. So pull that forward. Now on the back of all of this, I could use foam tape, etc. But because I've only blasted this off with the heat thing, not for very long, okay? So really, when you're using your tapes and things like that, you would want time to let this set, okay? But because we're working, and we're working quite quickly because obviously we're filming this for you, I'm going to work with the 3D glue gel because this is still slightly damp. And if I start building on here with foam tape and things, it'll get a little bit messy. So now I'm going to start putting in and building my pieces that I've got here. So I'm working with everything. I have got the SVG stencil. I have got my MCS reflection. I am working with my SVG cutouts, which I've used the large version of. So these are the bigger scale. And I just wanted to do something a little bit different for you all. So we've used a little bit of cadence as well, because I know if you're all avid 2 Red Robins fans, you've absolutely all got cadence to work with. Okay. I have got a little saying that I've printed off that if you wanted to, you could absolutely turn this into a birthday card. So I've got the larger pieces. I want a couple of these that the flower head is slightly in a different direction. They're the larger ones. That's the smaller one. And these are again some of the SVGs. So I want a few of those. These are my dies. So they can go there. Try and keep all my piles separately. Because one thing I do like to do is, because the SVGs don't have all of the detail cuts in, or that's not the cuts that I like to use. I'm going to build up on this. Put that off to one side. So, and all of you can do this because it is very easy to put together. So you've probably seen me go under over. I always tuck in and move things around, and that's one of the reasons that I like the glue gel, because I manipulate stuff and move it all over the place. That is. I'm just going to pop that to one side because I want to chop the head off of another one of these. My scissors. Cut into this one. And create a little bit of decoupage. So again, on there, that builds onto there. Whoops. And that's now going to build into here. But I want that forward, that behind. That forward, that behind. So I'm actually creating, or I'm hoping it's looking something like a, what's the word? Sunflower field. I'm not going to chuck that away. That is something that I will keep. So we've got all of the stuff happening in the background, and then the main focus is what's happening at the front. Again, a couple of pieces of decoupage, other way on that one, on that one. And this one, I'm going to sit to the side, put the decoupage layer on, like so. This one, I'm just going to tidy up and take that little bit of off of there. I'm going to leave it as that it's got its stalks on. Add a little bit of shape, like so. And then I'm going to see which way. No, I want it that way. So now I'm actually going to create the rest of, it's kind of a story that you're telling with your flowers and things, aren't you, really? And I'm really pleased that we've done the sunflower because I'm actually going to an exhibition. And who is really famous? Oh, let's see. I'm going to ask a question. Andrew, I'm asking a question. Yeah. Who is really famous? What famous artist was it? The sunflowers. Hey! Van Gogh. Yes, it was. So, kind of, it's Van Gogh inspired, really, because I'm actually going to the Van Gogh installation in York very soon. So that's kind of where I got the inspiration from, because I've been looking at it and thinking, oh, that's just incredible. And it really is incredible. So now I've still got the burnt orange, got that lovely lighter orange. And then I'm going to go in, because I can see I've got a few gaps. Now, top tip for you. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, because I've got a lot happening and there's a lot going on in here, I'm thinking, okay, so where are my gaps? Some of you might be shouting, oh, you've got a gap, so and so and so and so. I'm actually going to turn it round. Okay. And this is, God's, you're going to think, you're going mad, man. No, I really do this. And I do it when I'm building the boards as well. So that's generally my primary job, is doing the wow boards. So now, looking at it from a different view, I can see that I've got colour missing. Got colour missing here. Okay, nearly put my hand in that. Okay, and I know that I need extra, but I've got die here, die cuts. I need it up here as well, okay? I've got to create that balance and bring, so the texture and the feel of it all comes right the way through the whole thing that I'm making. So sliding that back in there, seeing it in real life, you'll be able to see that it's different, that textures have changed, okay? So by turning something upside down really does make a difference. Yes, it makes me also sound like I'm a little bit mad, but it properly does make a massive difference. So I have some of the leaves. I'm going to put these over this side because I have some of those as well. They're the ones I want. I need these. So they're the, like the bud, 3. I've got some more of those leaves. Have I got any more? And then I want some of the SVG ones because like I say, when you're doing something like this, you do want to try and keep your balance of what you're putting on your project. And also, because I've done these as the larger ones, I've got bigger leaves to work with. And none of this will be wasted because this is all going on, because obviously we use many different things. Maybe we could play with this in Craft Club. So, adding a little bit of texture. Again, just using my fingers, because I very often do. You know, people say, oh, well, you need the sponge and the ball tools and everything else. Not always. And especially when you're doing something that's a bit more, dare I say, arty. So pop that on each one of these. Oops, doesn't matter, it's turned over. I will wipe that. Won't leave a sticky mess. Okay. And as you can see, I've got 3. Generally work in 3s. Something else that many people might not know about me is that I have really bad OCD. So working in 3s is not, it doesn't work with me. I have to have evens. But when I do anything crafty, that's where I can let the barriers down a little bit. So I'm going to put one there. Even if I have to snip some of the stem off. Okay, so that is a little bit big. So I'm going to go in with my scissors and take some of the stem off. And yeah, I'm going to go there. So rather than try and force it, lift that up. Okay, I'm happy there. And then the third one, I'm going to come right to the top, like so. Okay, now I'm going to turn it back round again. Again, perspective. Look at that. So that needs moving because I want it underneath. Happier with that. And now I can go in with all my leaves and my greenery because I can see where it needs to be. Under there. So this is where I'm now lifting all of this colour. So I do tend to, or some people may think, that I put quite a lot of foliage on. And you do actually need the greenery. It's Mother Nature's canvas. So if you think about making a background, that's exactly what foliage is. It's the canvas to what's happening at the front. Okay, so without the canvas, you'd lose the flowers. You wouldn't see them all because everything would just be colourful. You need that green canvas to be able to see everything else. So we've nearly finished. I'm kind of hoping you've all enjoyed this, that it's a little bit different because changing it up as much as I can. And some of you might, you get comfortable with what you're always doing, don't you? Well, I think you can. That one in there, and then this one. There. Lift it up, tuck it in. There we go. So that, look at that. But also, when you put all that colour, look at that. Isn't that good? I'm very happy with that. If I'd have had a little bit more time and didn't need to, you know, get it all in for you within our time frame, I could have done a lot more in the background, maybe put in some more layers. But you can still see all of that rice paper in the background, especially when you're looking at it like this, because you think, well, what's happening there? What is this? You've got your stencil. So we have used Minecraft Studio rice paper, our SVG stencil, together with our dies and our SVG cut files to create something that is in as art book instead of it. You can then, obviously, if you wanted to, you could absolutely turn it into a card, because I have some pieces here. Here's the one I made earlier. So you could put this in here. I think I'm going to put that on. I am actually going to just go for it. Even though it says it's your birthday, I'm still going to pop it in, and I'm going to put it right in the middle of the flowers. Here we go. So that is what I did with Minecraft Studio. So it says, bloom, it's your birthday. So you could even just chop that out, and put it in a box frame, however you want to work with it. But I just wanted to share something a little bit different for you. So thank you very much for coming along and joining me on this little journey, doing something a little bit different. Let me know if you actually enjoyed this kind of thing by making tools and then creating one big project. Love to hear from you, as always. I hope you're going to enjoy the projects, and also love working with the flower of the month, which is our beautiful sunflower this time. And remember, we want to see your makes. Give us a like, a thumbs up, and actually activate that bell so you actually get to see all of the comments. You'll get notifications of when we're putting new things on there as well, education and inspiration. So thank you very much for coming along and joining me, and I'll see you all again real soon. Take care. Bye.
If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button, subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.